possible in this world, something we didn't really know about, and that begins this tale of the story of evil that we're going through, and he speaks of it as taking God's plunge into the night. That was God's plunge was taken. And so this fallen world became a nurse of souls inhabited by concealed divinity. And so we've gone through all of that, and now we're going to find out a little bit more about this world. So we can begin with the line, but
line page 107. Yeah.
107, yes, I had it. Just a second here. 107, yeah. Its knowledge is our era's starting point. Okay?
I'll start reading.
Yes.
Its knowledge is our error's starting point. Its beauty dawns. Our mind mask. Our mud mask ugliness. Its artist good begins our evil's tale.
No, evils.
Evils. Okay.
Evil's tale. So we have to go through these lines very carefully now, because we have a starting point of error, which is a knowledge in the subtle planes, the subtle matters planes. And even the beauty of this area of the subtle matter, means to put on, like you put on a dress or something. It dons our mud mask ugliness. Now, it is an ugliness, but it's a mud mask ugliness. So there is a mask behind it. And Sri Aurobindo hyphenates that word. Its artist good begins our evil's tale. So we can see that this is not totally a perfect world, this kingdom of subtle matter. And it's going to go on and on for a while. Sri Aurobindo is going to share with us a lot more. Okay, the heaven.
Narad sir, just one question here.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's referring to its artist good begins our evil's tale. So I'm not able to sort of make that reference between artist good and our evil's tale is our life on earth, or?
Yeah, the tale of evil on earth.
Okay.
The tale of evil on earth begins because of this artist good of the kingdom of subtle matter. So it is paradoxical. It is not quite clear that how this artist good can begin our tale of evil. But he says that's there in this world of subtle matter.
A heaven of creative truths above, a cosmos of harmonious dreams.
I missed truths above.
A heaven of creative truths above, a cosmos of harmonious dreams between, a chaos of dissolving forms below. It plunges lost in our inconscient base.
Well read, very well read. So we see that there is a heaven of creative truths above in this subtle matters world. And there's also a cosmos of these harmonious dreams that is between our world and the world of subtle matter. And there's a chaos of dissolving forms below.
Hmm.
and it plunges lost in our inconscient base. And Sri Aurobindo has often talked about the inconscient, and I've read it to you many times. But basically, he says the inconscient is a sleep or a prison, the conscient a round of strivings without ultimate issue, or the wanderings of a dream. We must wake into the superconscious, where all darkness of night and half lights cease in the self luminous bliss of the eternal. So that gives us a good understanding.
Yes.
And now, this very important line.
Out of its fall, our denser matter came.
So the fall from the kingdom of subtle matter
Mhm.
is what has created our denser matter, Earth's matter. Extremely important, huh? And of
Yes.
course, it's all we know, it's all a structure of energy. But out of the fall of this kingdom of subtle matter, our denser, because subtle matter is not as dense as earth matter. So our denser matter came. And then he gives us this very strong line, thus taken.
Thus taken was God's plunge into the night.
Yes, very clear. And
This,
now it's going to continue. This fallen,
this fallen world became a nurse of souls inhabited by concealed divinity.
very beautiful lines. This fallen world, which is our world here, which is the world of the ignorance, where we live in body, life, and mind. And still, this world is a nurse of souls because it is inhabited by this divinity that's concealed. Clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, more.
So in a way, that concealed divinity nurses those souls on earth.
Um,
Can we see that?
yeah, of course, it's this concealed divinity is inhabiting this fallen world,
Right.
which is a nurse of souls. So we can say that our earth, our world, is a nurse of souls that is inhabited by this divinity that's concealed. So beautiful. And now he's going to give us the vast meaning of what's happening.
A being hoped and lived in a meaningless void. The worldwide nations strove towards life and consciousness plucked out from mindless sleep, all things
No,
driven.
we'll stop there.
Sorry, yes,
So, a being, he capitalizes the B in a being. And he says, our being, but he doesn't capitalize it. He said, in Life Divine, he says, pure being is the affirmation by the unknowable of itself as the free base of all cosmic existence. So beautiful. And then, continuing in Life Divine, he says the absolute manifests itself in two terms, a being and a becoming. The being is the fundamental reality. The becoming is an effectual reality. So we are in the stage of becoming.
Mhm.
So the being woke and lived in the meaningless void, because the void is empty of all meaning. It's just blankness. A worldwide nescience strove towards life. So this nescience again is capitalized. And he says nescience in nature is the complete self-ignorance.
Okay.
So worldwide complete self-ignorance, the worldwide nations strove towards life and thought, towards both, towards life and thought, and a consciousness plucked out from mindless sleep. So this consciousness is plucked out from mindless sleep because this sleep at this point has no mind at all, no mental acuity. And then he tells us in the next line, where there's a full stop also.
All here is driven by an insentient will.
Yes, an insentient will, a will that doesn't have any feeling or sensation or consciousness. It's an inanimate will.
Thus fallen, inconscious, frustrated, dense, inert, sunk into inanimate and torpid drowse, earth lay, drudge of sleep, forced to creep by a subconscient yearning memory, left from happen, left from a happiness dead before she was born, an alien wonder of her senseless breast.
On her senseless breast.
Okay, on her senseless breast.
Yeah. So we have to look at these lines, they're very important. Huh? So, fallen, our earth, inconscient, frustrate, not frustrate, but frustrate. Accent on the first syllable, frustrate.
Breast.
Yeah, you pronounced it frustrate, frustrate, frustrate.
Prostrate.
Yeah, accent on the first syllable, frustrate.
Prostrate.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Good. So here fallen, inconscient, frustrate, dense, inert. Look, he uses fallen, he uses inconscient, he uses frustrate, he uses dense, he uses inert. He's telling us everything. Then he tells us that is sunk into inanimate and torpid drowse. Inanimate, of course, is something not alive or living. It's even spiritless. And torpid, of course, is benumbed, something that is benumbed, deprived of the power of motion or feeling. That's something that's torpid. As so it's a drowse that has no feeling, it's not animate, it's not alive. So what is it? It's earth. Earth lay, a drudge of sleep. A drudge. The drudge is a slave, a laborer of sleep. And that laborer is forced to create by a subconscious yearning memory left from a happiness dead before she was born. So this is the fall he's talking about. We had this happiness previously until we made that fall. So we took that fall into a human body on the earth. And a happiness dead before she was born, earth was born. An alien wonder on her senseless breast. Very powerful lines, huh? Alien, foreign wonder on her senseless breast. And now this most beautiful, beautiful three lines.
This Maya must harbor the orchid and the rose. From her blind, unwilling substance must emerge a beauty that belongs to happier spheres.
Okay, the word is orchid. There's
Orchid,
no ch is pronounced. Orchid.
kid.
The orchid is one of the most beautiful of all flowers. And this mire is mud.
Okay.
This mire must harbor, hold within itself, both the orchid and the rose, even though it's mud. And then he tells us that her substance is blind and unwilling, earth substance. But from that, there has to emerge a beauty that belongs to happier spheres. So lovely. We can go on a little bit more.
Sure. This is the destiny bequeathed to her.
Bequeathed to her. Bequeath means passed on or handed down. A last will, we could say, is bequeathed to someone.
Okay.
And this, but here it's the destiny that is bequeathed to her, to earth. So we just read that this beauty that belongs to happier spheres has to emerge on the earth because this is the destiny that is passed on, handed down to her, bequeathed to her.
This
As
is
if,
the sorry.
go ahead.
This is the destiny bequeathed to her, as if a slain god left a golden trust to a blind fool and an imprisoned soul.
Of course, Sri Aurobindo again uses as if, showing us, you know, as if what? As if a slain god left a golden trust. But this slain god left it to a blind force and an imprisoned soul. You see, when Sri Aurobindo uses as if, he's giving us a picture. It's like this. It's like a slain god who has left a golden trust, a will, to a blind force and an imprisoned soul. Clear?
Yeah, so slain god exactly means someone from that uh, kingdom of subtle matter.
Yeah, but you have to read as if.
As if, okay.
It's 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 a sort of like a slain god, as if. Very important when Sri Aurobindo he uses it throughout Savitri, as if. In other words, saying that it's sort of like a slain god who has left a golden trust. To whom? Well, to a blind force and to an imprisoned soul. She must reconstitute from fragments lost.
She
Okay?
must reconstitute from fragments lost,
Yes.
reword a document complete elsewhere. Her doubtful title to her divine name.
Great place to stop today. So, how does she have to work with this golden trust that seems to be left to a blind force and a soul that's imprisoned? Therefore, we have to see that an immortal Godhead's perishable parts, because on earth everything is perishable, nothing lasts forever. She has to reconstitute, re-put together from lost fragments. She has to reword from a document that's complete somewhere else, of course, above in the eternal realms, her doubtful title to her divine name. Very beautiful. Are you clear on all the lines? Yes? Okay. So read the whole thing now. Very important.
So I'll start from the third line on page 107.
It's knowledge. Huh?
It's not. Its knowledge is our error's starting point. Its beauty dawns on mud mask ugliness. Its artist hope begins our evil scale. A heaven of creative truths above, a cosmos of harmonious dreams between, a chaos of dissolving forms below. It plunges lost in our inconscient ways. Out of its form, our denser matter. Thus taken was God's plunge into the night. This
No, full
fallen
stop there. Thus taken was God's plunged into the night. Full stop.
Thus taken was God's plunge into the night. This fallen world became a nurse of souls, inhabited by concealed divinity. A being woke and lived in the meaningless void. A worldwide nescience strove towards life and thought. A consciousness plucked out from mindless sleep. All here is driven by an insentient will. Thus, fallen, inconscient, frustrate, dense, inert, sunk into inanimate and torpid drowse, earth lay a drudge of sleep, forced to create by a subconscient owning memory left from a happiness dead before she was born, an alien wonder on her senseless breast. This mire must harbor the orchid and the rose. From her blind, unwilling substance must emerge a beauty that belongs to happier spheres. This is the destiny bequeathed to her, as if a slain god left a golden trust to a blind force and an imprisoned soul. An immortal Godhead's perishable parts she must reconstitute from fragments lost, reworked from a document complete elsewhere, her doubtful title to her divine name.
You read very well, even with a bad throat.
Thank you,
I
Narad sir.
hope you I hope you'll feel better next week.
Thank you so much,
Nam-
Narad.
You're
Namaste.
welcome. Namaste.
Have a great